Hey, Bill Shaka here. Welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Hope you're doing well today. I'd like to talk a little bit today about the notion of trust and corporate culture and how they actually work together. I was going through some notes of a client that I used to do corporate culture analysis for, and there was a gap in trust between the supervisors and the executives who ran the facility. It was a large manufacturing facility. And the lack of trust actually went both ways. The supervisors didn't trust the management, and the management didn't trust the supervisors. So the end result was that this organizational culture was, for all intents and purposes, dysfunctional. Now, the hypothesis was that the executives thought that the supervisors would taint new employees. And that tainting process was to make the employees worse off so that they wouldn't work as hard as what they should have. It was a non-union shop. But so they were creating this kind of de facto work slowdown. At least that's what the executive thought that the supervisors were doing. And they thought it was the seasoned people, the ones that were there for 9, 10, 11, 12 years in a supervisory role. So we did a corporate culture analysis, and I did a lot of additional work on trust valuation. And it's funny what we found out. Let me give you the results of this, and I think you're going to be very interested in this, especially if you're a manager or an executive dealing with corporate culture, cultural issues, especially corporate cultural issues revolving around trust. We did these trust valuations. We asked for some demographics, very simple stuff, like, for example, your gender, how many years you've been with the company, etc. Here's what we found out. Well, keep in mind, the executives thought that it was the 9+ years of supervisors that were tainting the employees. What we found out that it was the supervisors that were in the position of 1 to 3 years that were kind of putting their chest out and trying to muscle their way into the newer employees' psychological repertoire. The older, I shouldn't say older, the individuals that were more experienced, 9+ years, they were trying to be mentors. But it was the supervisors who were new in the position that were the ones that were actually causing the issues. This brought out an entirely different light in terms of trust. So what I was able to do was to bring the seasoned supervisors and the executives together in the form of committees and action organizations internal to the organization itself, and develop strategies. While that was happening simultaneously, I took the less experienced supervisors, the 1 to 3 year supervisors, and put them through a process on personal leadership where the results of the committees and the task groups from the executives were brought down as part of the information. Well, I did the exact same analysis, corporate culture and the trust valuation, a year later, and what we found is that the gaps shrunk considerably. So what that's telling me, now of course there's some standard error in there because employees leave, new employees come on, but what that told me in general was that you can actually affect culture and especially trust by coming up with hypotheses but not acting on them until they're tested and validated. The end result is trust and the notion of corporate culture work hand in hand. If you work it correctly, you're going to find your culture will get much better. Your work environment will be a happier place. Ultimately, you're going to produce better product, and make more money. Make more money. Isn't that the goal of business? Profit maximization. See ya.